Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. This is Lounge Fever, a series dedicated to answer your questions. And question for day is about change management and configuration management. Is this the same concept? And I really like that question because both of these do have to do something with changes. So is configuration management the same thing as change management? That is what we are going to look into in this video. Now, of course, if you're not aware of change management, we have already made a lot of videos on change management. I'll share the entire playlist link in the description below. Go ahead, check that out, learn a thing or two about change management. You'll be able to comprehend what change management really is, what the entire change management cycle is, and how you need to process a change when it comes around, right? So what the entire cycle is and what you as a project manager need to do when a change comes up. Now, let's talk about configuration management. Let's move to the next slide. So configuration management, what is configuration management and why is it important, right? Why is there a separate section for configuration management as opposed to just covering it in change management if they are the same things, right? So they are not the same things. That's the reason why you have a separate entry for configuration management. Now, there is a plethora of documents in every project, right? And they keep changing before and after being baseline. So this is basically an example to make sure that you understand what configuration management is, right? So let's take an example of one of your projects. Imagine the number of documents that are there in that project, right? And imagine the number of changes every single one of those documents go through. Now, what happens is in most of the projects, and it is a best practice which you should definitely follow, all the documents are live documents. They are available on a central location, a SharePoint or something like that, a central repository, wherein every project team member has access to it. Either just the read access or both read and write access. Now, there are a lot of documents in every project, right? And these documents keep on changing. So even after their baseline, if there is a change request that comes up, right? So ultimately you have a baseline schedule, right? But then there's a change that came up, and due to that, your coding is going to get delayed. So there's a change in the schedule, right? The baseline schedule. So you will change that in the document, in the schedule document, and you will re-baseline that document. Now the thing is, every time you check in a change, every time you make a change in any of the document, right, and check it back in, there is an entry which is made in this configuration management system, which is also known as CMS, right? And this is extremely important, right? This entry is the key. It is extremely important. It is for audited compliance and operational purposes as well. One of the example here is that if you have made a change to your project schedule, like we just discussed, right? So there's a change request that came in, and because of that, your code is going to get delayed. So there's a change in the project schedule, right? So you made that change in the schedule document. Now, how do you ensure that the entire project team is using the updated version of the schedule document? That is where CMS, the configuration management system, comes into the picture. That is where your document gets updated. Its version gets topped up, right? So if it was 1.0 version and you made a change, it'll automatically become 1.1 version of the schedule. And whoever made that change will also be recorded just for your audit and compliance purposes, right, for later on. So that is why it is extremely important that you have configuration management system for all your projects, right? So that way, all you need to do is to convey to the project team, and even they can also take a look if the documents are live and stored at a central repository, that the latest version of the schedule is 1.1, and they need to be referring to 1.1 version of the schedule, not the 1.0 version of the schedule, right? So that is why it is extremely important to have configuration management, and this is exactly what configuration management does. Now, additionally, you need to understand that both change management and configuration management, they complement each other, right? They are not identical. They are not the same thing. change management and configuration management is definitely not the same concept. These are identical, these are not even identical, these are complementary, because of the fact that whenever you make a change, right, if there is a change that comes up and the change is approved and you implement the change, you execute the change, there will be an entry for it made in the CMS or in your configuration management system, right? So every change is definitely going to create an entry for your configuration management system as well, right? So every change invites an entry in the configuration management system, and that is the reason why these two are complementary, right? So whenever there is let's say there is a change request that comes up for your, let's say, scope of the project, right, there's a new functionality that needs to be added in your project. Now this is going to once that is approved, right, you have gone through that change, through the entire change management cycle. Once that change is approved, what happens later is that you are going to make changes to your scope related documents. You are going to make changes to your time and cost related documents as well, because if you're adding new functionality, that is going to shoot up the time and that is going to shoot up the cost as well in an ideal world, right? So you are going to make changes using the configuration management system to all these relevant documents, and that is the reason why change management and configuration management are complementary. Any change is definitely going to invoke your configuration management system. So that's all that I had in this video. Hope you were able to differentiate between change management and configuration management. Like I said earlier, the playlist for change management is available in the description below. Go ahead, check that out. You'll learn more about change management there. That's all that I had. Hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the like icon if you like this video, if you learned something new, and check us out on our social media. PMC Lounge is our handle on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you have any such questions, do feel free to send us on any of our social media channels or replying to any of the video. Just make a comment and we'll definitely get back to you. Don't forget to check out the website pmclounge.com, your number one free resource for PMP and other project management certifications, as well as project management industry information. Thank you.